Welcome to the Reserve Pour, where we uncover stories behind our favorite sips. I'm one of your hosts, Martinez, joined alongside
Gary.
Lawson.
Welcome to our show. Today's sip is about a day in the life of each of our hosts. Gary, tell me a little about yourself.
Okay, Martinez. I am 51 years old, married with 4 grown children. I currently work for the post office as a mailman for at least the last 28 years. When I'm not delivering mail, I am working as a dispute resolution team member for my national union. When I'm not doing that, along with delivering the mail, I am drilling as an Army reservist, and I've been doing that for the last 18 years. So I like to enjoy craft beers, a few cocktails, enjoy my coffee in the morning, do a little grilling with the family, and enjoy listening to music. That's my therapy. So, Kevin, what is a little something that you could tell us about you?
Well, if you have a question, you can ask. But in all seriousness, just shy of 30, 25 for the fourth time if you want to be specific. I currently work as security. I've been doing that for 9 years now. Specifically in New York City. So I get to see a lot of everything, actually. Outside of that, I've been with the Army now for 7 years. This summer makes my 7th year, actually. Some personal interest for me is I'm a big coffee guy. I love coffee. My day doesn't start until I have coffee, no matter what time of day it is. Outside of coffee, I do like going out grilling. I like cooking. I really like cooking. It's just kind of a home person, but not home person at the same time. So I like to cook. I like to occasionally have some whiskey. So, after that meal, kick back, relax. Yeah. What about you, Mr. Martinez?
Well, a little bit about myself. Let's see. I've been in the Army for 19 years now. And the civilian side, I'm a correction officer. Outside of that, I'm a very involved dad. I love technology. I am a photographer. I did do it for right before joining the Corrections Academy. I was doing it a little more on a professional level, and I'm definitely an avid motorcycle rider. I do enjoy my coffee in the mornings. I love my IPAs, which actually became a recent thing within the last, I would say, 2 years. I did develop the taste for a good IPA, and of course I do enjoy a good whiskey as well. So, Gary, what would you say a regular day in your life consists of?
Besides running away from dogs, naturally.
Let me get there. Let's see. Well, of course, get up in the morning, get my lunch ready, and I brew my own first cup of coffee in the morning. Just a regular old roast that I have in the house, nothing too fancy. Get together, get in my car, head to my office, about 30-minute commute. Get to the office, settle in. Usually, as a mailman, you start to collect whatever mail you have. You start to sort it out, case it up in our cases that we have according to street addresses, things like that. So we're sorting out first-class mail. We're sorting out, magazines. We're sorting out our packages. Just preparing it for delivery for us to load our trucks and head out to our routes and deliver the mail. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. I could be here for a little while, just really explaining every detail of the job. But
Explains why my packages always take so long. I'm too busy explaining it.
There's a number of factors why, but that's there's a lot of different reasons why. It's like I said, it's a lot more that does go into the job, and that's pretty much it. Besides, we work 365 for the most part, in all types of weather, and it's a tough job. It's very physical. You not only have to deal with the physicality of the job, there's also, other frustrations of the job, dealing with management and, having a good working relationship with management, or even having a good relationship with your coworkers, because it's such a diverse place where we work at, and there's so many different personalities, different ideas on how to do the job, different work ethics. But the main idea is to deliver mail. So that's the one job that I do as a mailman. But currently I am a dispute resolution team member for our national union, and I work with a manager partner, and we work to settle grievances that come up from the local post offices between management and the union. And we try to settle them in the best way we can at the lowest level. So that's what I'm primarily doing now, just trying to, fix a lot of the issues that are going on in these small offices, and hopefully can make an impact on the environment, the work environment that we all have to deal with every single day. And, that's for the most part, that's it, So, hey, Kevin, can you tell us a little something about in the day of your life as a security officer or security guard?
Sure. Excuse me. So, a day in my life is that on my job, we work 24/7, 365 also. Naturally, not one person could work everything all the time, but my specific shift that I've chose on my own, and I'm very happy to have kept for as long as I have, is midnight shift. So I work from midnight to 8. It's definitely not your first pick for most people, but for me, it definitely suits my lifestyle, because get out at 8 o'clock. I have the full day to get everything I need to get done, which could be an appointment, it could be schoolwork, it could be running errands, it's just living life, going to the gym after work, instead of when everybody's at work, the gym is empty, instead of going at 5, 6 o'clock where, now it's packed.
Okay.
So I'll get up. Usually I cook dinner right after I get up, or depending how the day went, I would have made dinner after I got home from work, and I would heat that up and I'll head out to work. At the job, it's a very varied environment. We have some posts where we may be manning a desk, some posts where we may be as a mobile person going around our area. Some days it could just be crowd control depending on what's going on, but very, very varied without getting into too many specifics about the job. So after work, usually I'll go home. And for me, even though that's the end of my shift, that's technically the end of my day, that's when my day starts. So I'll go home, I'll make my coffee then. I'm not a coffee specialist, but I do like, I like good coffee. Mm-hmm. I've been very particular about this French Italian espresso lately. So I get the whole beans by the pound. I grind them up. I make my coffee. Sometimes if I'm up to it, I use a French press because it gives it just a slightly different taste than the regular percolator. So I'll do that. I'll make my coffee. I'll unwind for the day. I'll do any emails. Like if I'm staying at the house, I'll hit any emails. I'll clean up a little bit. I'll go to the gym or work out at home with the equipment I have, depending on the week and what I have going on. And also, during that time, if depending on who's available or what I'm in the mood for, maybe I'll get on PlayStation for a little bit and game. But again, it's all very dependent on just how life is, my regular day.
Okay.
So what about Mr. Person over here?
I guess that would be me. So, I don't know. Call me a little weird, maybe the word. I do have a routine, right, in my mornings. I'm very specific about this routine, right? So,
The routine.
whenever I have to do anything at a specific time in the morning, I schedule my alarm 2 hours prior, right? And that is because I have my routine. I do love coffee, right? So I do have to get up early enough to grind my beans, do my pour over, really sit down and enjoy my time without having to rush. I hate rushing. So, after grinding the beans, I do my coffee. I am watching the news. I'm preparing for my day. I jump in the shower, get dressed. By the time that I leave, I still have enough time to, get to work on time without having to rush or anything like that. I do work in a jail setting, so I have to park and take, they call it a route bus, to your facility. So once I get there, I'll, get to my lockers, change, go to roll call, and from roll call, you get your assigned post, and you go to your assigned post. Usually, I do have a steady post, or had, I guess, at this point. Go to my assigned post, and, the very first thing you do is just accountability. So you do your count, make sure that, you have live and well bodies, there's no extra or one missing, right? So after that, you go about the day. The day is usually pretty structurized. They have their services called, they do their medication. They provide all the services that they're entitled to, right? Depending on what days they get certain services than other different days. Once I get out of there, hopefully, I did do my 8 hours, or it turns out to still be a little more than that. By the time I get to the locker room, change, head back, traffic, lovely traffic of New York City. So once I get home, if I'm not cooking, helping the kids with homework, or just, the kids themselves require a lot. So you're definitely busy running around, taking care of them, making sure that they're doing the homework, bathing them and preparing the day for the next day, cooking. And I do like to sit down and work on some pictures if I do have, I do have my social media account that I try to post maybe like once a week, just to keep it going, keep myself going. That is one of my hobbies. And, with the exception of when I didn't do it semi-professional, I still like to take pictures, and I like to stay current, and active in the social media that I do have. But if not, then, definitely joining the gym, working out, staying fit. I am taking a course to do a nutritionist and personal trainer. It's one of those things that I've been passionate about, and I think having that, it comes with working out, right? People see that you're constantly doing it, and they might gravitate towards you and ask you for guidance, and I don't want to give them the wrong guidance, right? So I thought that by having this, just for me personally, I think that it would be beneficial, and it gives me some type of credibility at the same time as well, But yeah, that pretty much sums up my my day.
Your day.
Yeah.
That's fun, huh?
So you mentioned counting off. And I know for us in the military, that is one of the hardest things we can't actually do, is properly counting off.
Yeah.
So just out of, my curiosity, has there been any times where, you're doing your accountability, your roll call, and there has been somebody extra there that nobody was expecting?
So funny you say that, right? Because at the beginning, even the inmates know that you're new, right? And it depends on the housing area too. Some of them sleep underneath their bunk, right? For whatever reason they do. So you're walking down the tier and you're counting, and you see nobody on the bed itself. So you don't count that, and you come back to your to the partner that you're relieving, and you tell them 15, and they're like, nope. So you're like, what? So you have to go back out there, and now this time you're being a little more careful, right? Making sure that, okay, yeah, I do see one there. I see another one here too. You go down the line, you still can't find them. 15. And they're like, nope. It's like, what? So now he goes along with you, right? And starts counting. And then you see the one underneath the bunk. And you're like, oh, man, I didn't even notice him there, So, yeah.
Nobody extra.
Nobody extra.
So much for the new pair of glasses you just got.
Yeah. But, they definitely do. It does happen, right? And you do have to be mindful. Some of the dorms, they do the same thing. They'll sleep in between bunks, or they'll sleep underneath their bunk. So you do have to be mindful of how you do your count, and making sure that you're looking everywhere to see if there is a person, or it's just not blankets or whatever.
So you mentioned that's somebody that you thought was missing. Have you ever found somebody extra?
Oh, no, definitely no extras.
I was going to say, because who would want to sneak into a jail and be like,
well,
hey, look at me.
They do like to go to other housing areas, when they're going to services and they're in the hallways, they'll try to go to a different housing area just to talk to their buddy, or, you do have a whole bunch of gang related stuff. So they'll try to relay messages, and, they'll try to go into your area. So you do have to be mindful of who belongs in your area and who doesn't. So, which could create a big mess if you let the wrong person in.
Sounds like you're a very bold person, if I may say so.
Yeah, good one.
New York's boldest.
Yeah.
Yes, the boldest. You mentioned New York City traffic.
Oof.
So apparently, you just spilled the beans. We're all from New York.
Yes.
You come from
Originally from New York. Some of us may or may not be welcome in the city anymore.
Yeah.
So he's originally from the Bronx.
I am from the boogie down Bronx. Yes, I'm around the area of the Yankee Stadium. So, it's lovely that
Go Yankees.
I have it so close. Right, it is a blessing, because I have gone to games, and now that New York City Football Club also plays in the Yankee Stadium, it's great. You can pretty much walk down, to Yankee Stadium and attend the games. But on the flip side of that, when there is games, and when they have the big games, then you're stuck in that traffic, and all you want to do is just go home. And now you're sitting here and you contemplating, man, did I do a wrong choice by selecting where you live in?
Wow. But you don't have to tell me. I mean, I live out on Long Island.
Strong Island?
Strong Island, yeah, thanks. Yeah, there you go. Big up Long Island, Strong Island. It could take me from on drill weekends, it could take me 2.5 hours just to travel 30, 40 miles. Easy. Depending on the time.
Like 20 minutes. Who's counting?
Well, you know what? That's what you get for living in Queens.
That's lucky. So actually, in my morning commute to work, if I leave right before rush hour, which generally I do, I get to my job in 15, 20 minutes the latest. Now, on the way back, the same commute, same distance, easily an hour.
Yeah, New York traffic sucks.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we could all agree on that, right?
Without a doubt.
You see, not just the traffic, but them roads themselves. Because the traffic is not the best. There are some places and sometimes where New York traffic seems like a miracle, but them roads, driving on them roads are something else. If it's not a pothole, they're doing
like
construction.
a war zone.
Yeah, you would think it was.
Yeah. It's crazy because as we are in the reserves, we do travel a lot, and you see other cities and towns, and you definitely don't see that. Even though New York City is such a big city, and
Not as much. Well, it's definitely out there. Whew.
yeah, but definitely not as intense as New York City roads, right? You don't encounter the huge potholes. For a long time, I did drive a low car, right? It was in static. It's coilovers, right? That was pretty low, and I already knew exactly how far ahead the potholes were they, closer to the right side or left side. I wouldn't go to places without having to recon that route.
So annoying.
Yes,
Just
but
get yourself an SUV.
Definitely just get an SUV.
Yeah.
It
Or a
was
Jeep.
it was definitely
Something.
a lifestyle, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I had it was a Audi, it was a S4. Right before they switched over to the V6s, it was a V8. So naturally aspirated, 6 gears. It's my baby. I still miss it to this day, but
Oh, so you traded it in for 2 wheels now.
yes. Well, yeah, I did. And I enjoy. I do ride a Indian Scout Bauer. I've done a couple of things to it, and it's never like a ending to it. I've done exhaust, I've done suspension, I've done little things here
Has
and
a
there.
project ever completed?
This is true. I mean, the same thing I could say about my tattooing, right? I'm fully tatted. I have 2 sleeves now, my chest. I don't think that'll ever be complete.
I mean, I can agree with that. I just had 3 done within 2-3 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I've had 2 done within roughly the same time span, so not small pieces either. They're pretty sizable pieces. My ribs, my chest.
Yeah.
This is definitely always going to be a work in progress until there ain't no skin left.
Well, it is addicting. That's for sure.
Yeah. And so one of the things actually that the Army has recently done, they've allowed to tattoo your hands, right? It's very strict. You are very limited to what you can get, how many you can get. But
The size.
yes. But I'm glad that they're kind of exploring and opening up that
I think
avenue.
it's more to allow those that are trying to enlist in the military, those that have already tattoos, depending on, the type of tattoo they have, where they're located, the size of them, not to restrict them from being able to enlist and serve in the military.
Right,
know?
because we are struggling on numbers and retention and recruiting, but that's a whole another topic, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I mean, do we have any words of wisdom of the day? How about you, Kevin? Give
Mobility.
us some mobility.
His infamous word, mobility.
I wouldn't call it my infamous word. However, that word will forevermore live on in infamy due to the person whose word, part of me, it actually was. It's one of those things of, if you know, you know. But if you don't know,
No, you don't.
I still know. So
Yeah. And if you don't know, you're not going to know.
Yeah, so I think this wraps up episode number 1. Be sure to follow us. If you have any questions, definitely you can email us at podcast@thereserveport.com. We are on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at thereserveport.com. Shoot us comments, your concerns, questions. We're eager to answer them.
And take any feedback. What can we do better going forward, or what would you like to hear, or anything like that. I mean, we do have more of a personality, and I'm sure it'll all come out sooner or later.
thank you guys, and we'll catch you on the next sip.
Get it first.